Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Have you ever found yourself completely absorbed in a story, not just for the twists and turns, but for the real psychological stuff it uncovers about human nature, vulnerability, that whole intricate dance of connection? Well, today we're taking a deep dive into Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this isn't just like a standard romance novel, it's really a masterclass in how our past traumas kind of shape our present relationships, and how these unexpected acts of kindness can quietly change everything, and how sometimes real love shows up in, well, pretty unconventional ways.
Indeed, yeah. Our mission today is to really dig into those powerful insights, to kind of move beyond just the surface story and explore the complex emotional worlds these characters are navigating. We want to understand why, sometimes the most important relationships actually start with a lie, a carefully built one, and what that tells us about our own need for connection, maybe, and our fears around being truly vulnerable.
Okay, so get ready. We're going to explore this unique fake dating thing that somehow spirals into real love. We'll unpack a really surprising anonymous act of kindness and dig into how those deep past traumas can, well, either sabotage things or ultimately make relationships stronger. Okay, let's unpack this. All right, so we start with Brianna. She's an ER physician, and she's reeling from a pretty brutal divorce. Remember those online dating stories she tells her friend Alexis? Just hilariously awful.
Oh, yeah, the guy with the court-ordered breathalyzer.
That one, and the swastika tattoo, and the one whose wife turns up.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
They're funny, but they aren't just jokes, are they? They immediately paint this picture of how jaded she is. You see those defensive walls go straight up.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how quickly we see her trauma responses playing out. Her view of dating isn't just, cynicism. It's a direct result of betrayal, especially her ex-husband, Nick, having that 2-year affair with her supposed friend, Kelly. Yeah. So this isn't just general trust issues.
Yeah.
It's deeper, like hypervigilance, maybe an avoidant attachment style kicking in. Brianna's sort of unconsciously bracing for more hurt, which might make her accidentally push away connections she actually needs.
Right, and just as she's trying to get back on her feet, maybe get this promotion at Royum Northwestern Hospital, a new colleague arrives and just complicates everything. Enter Jacob. And the nurses have already charmingly nicknamed him Dr. Death.
Yeah. Charming is one word for it.
After this terrible first day where he lost, 7 patients, not exactly a great start in the ER.
No, definitely not. And this brings up a really important question, doesn't it? How much do those initial impressions, especially in super high-stress places like an ER, really shape how we see people? How they can lock us into a story that's maybe totally wrong? Jacob's supposed kill rate, and Brianna immediately distrusting him, calling him Dr. Death. That's a classic example of what psychologists call the fundamental attribution error.
Right, judging quickly.
Exactly. We judge based on incomplete info, fill the gaps with our own biases. It shows how hard it is to see past that surface stuff.
Meanwhile, Jacob's got his own mess going on. His ex, Amy, is now engaged to his younger brother, Jeremiah.
Wow. Awkward.
Super awkward. And his family, who sound incredibly loving, but also, intensely involved.
Nosy, maybe?
Maybe a bit. They're really worried about him, constantly asking about his love life, which is, non-existent. So to deflect all their pity and questions, Jacob tells this little white lie.
The classic buffer.
Yep. He says he has a new girlfriend. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Despite that terrible start, Brianna makes this kind of throwaway comment to Jacob, like, hey, you should bring cupcakes for the nurses.
Just a small thing.
Yeah, but it sparks this totally unexpected exchange. Jacob writes Brianna this really heartfelt letter, apologizing for their first meeting, and Brianna feeling kind of bad for being, as she puts it, a raging bitch.
Oh.
She writes back, in a world of texts and DMs, what happens when someone actually sends a handwritten letter?
That's such a crucial point. It's incredibly insightful, actually, this slower, more intentional way of communicating through actual letters. It kind of bypasses all that immediate social anxiety, right? The pressure you feel face-to-face or even online.
Yeah. Brianna even says it feels different, like it has more weight.
Exactly. It lets their real selves, their vulnerabilities, kind of peek through without that instant judgment filter. It really speaks to the power of, thoughtful, delayed interaction in our super instant world where everyone's hiding behind curated profiles.
And through these letters, we start to peel back the layers, right?
Yeah.
We learn about Jacob's social anxiety, his 3-legged Bernese mountain dog, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, great name.
isn't it? And we see Brianna's deep love, but also her immense worry for her younger brother, Benny. Benny's only 27. He's got end-stage renal failure. He's battling serious depression.
Mm-hmm.
And he desperately needs a kidney transplant. Plus, he has a rare blood type, making it even harder.
Yeah, and connecting that to the bigger picture. Benny's situation isn't just a plot point. It's like the emotional anchor that shapes Brianna's whole world.
She basically raised him, right? She says he's like her child.
Exactly. So that drives this huge protectiveness, but also this profound, almost paralyzing fear of loss. She says something like, I couldn't watch Benny deteriorate like this and hold the line. I just couldn't. That says it all.
Wow.
It's a fear that really impacts her ability to trust, her willingness to be vulnerable.
Right.
It makes her even more guarded.
And then the twist, the thing that just redefines everything. Jacob has anonymously donated a kidney to Benny.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Brianna has absolutely no idea. She's still seeing him through that lens of their first meeting, you know?
Yeah.
Still kind of thinking, Dr. Death.
That's an incredible secret to hold on to. The weight of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what's so key here is how this hidden act of just profound generosity shows Jacob's true character. It's such a stark contrast to how he's first perceived. He wasn't just a match for Benny. He was perfect. And this completely selfless act, done quietly, with zero expectation of thanks.
Yeah.
It lines up perfectly with what he told Brianna earlier, remember, that the truest sacrifices are the ones no one knows anything about.
Yeah.
It also sets up this massive emotional payoff later. It shows the hidden depths quiet people can have and the huge impact of selfless acts. Jacob even thinks about how it was like easier for me to donate an entire organ than it was to ask a woman to pose as my girlfriend. That really highlights his anxiety.
Okay, so Amy and Jeremiah's engagement party is coming up. Jacob needs that fake girlfriend. And astonishingly, he asked Brianna, can you just imagine how awkward that is?
Seriously awkward.
What follows is the series of just hilariously cringy but also increasingly intimate fake dates. Starting with that chaotic family dinner at Jacob's house.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that bit where Jacob, trying way too hard to sell it, grabs Brianna's hand and practically crushes it?
Relax. Yes, trying to show that deep connection. That's a perfect example. And it raises that interesting question. What happens when the performance itself starts creating real feelings? This whole fake relationship thing forces them into closeness, into vulnerability they probably wouldn't have allowed otherwise.
Right, they have to act like a couple.
Exactly. And that performance actually speeds up their emotional connection. It breaks down their defenses because they're under pressure to keep up the act. Like, Jacob eventually realizes this thing we were doing felt easy and believable, and he starts feeling the relief he thought he'd feel.
And then the stakes get even higher. Brianna finds out Jacob's mom, Joy, is none other than Dr. J. Maddox.
The world-renowned couples counselor and sex therapist.
Yes. Suddenly, their little charade needs to convince an expert in relationships.
But no pressure.
None at all. This leads to Brianna frantically wondering how to, make them think we're super into each other. Even hilariously asking Jacob, how are you going to be over Amy if you're not having hot, kinky sex with your new girlfriend?
That detail is brilliant because it's exactly that external pressure to perform a convincing relationship that, kind of ironically, deepens their internal feelings. They're forced to talk about feelings, mimic intimacy, see each other differently. It just speeds everything up, forcing them to confront their own stuff. And what's fascinating is Joy's perspective. As a therapist, she totally knew it wasn't fake.
She saw right through it.
Yeah, she says something like, it's my job to know when it isn't real, and also when it is. She wasn't fooled by the act. She saw the real connection growing underneath.
Throughout all this, Brianna's past, it's just riddled with betrayal, isn't it? Her divorce from Nick, that awful miscarriage she went through completely alone.
So tough.
And her dad abandoning her when she was young. These aren't just bad memories. They fundamentally rewired how she sees the world.
Yeah.
She sees men as basically unreliable. She fully expects relationships to blow up in her face. That metaphor she uses about never teleporting again after her dad left. It captures it perfectly.
Oh, yeah. That loss of innocent trust.
Exactly. That stupid, innocent love that you can only give before you know better.
That's such a profound observation. It really highlights a core psychological insight, right?
Yeah.
Trauma, especially repeated betrayal, like Brianna's experienced, it doesn't just hurt in the moment. It fundamentally changes your worldview, creates this deep-seated fear of intimacy. Her never teleported again thing. It's not just a metaphor. It's like a clear sign of that hypervigilant attachment style. It's self-protection. Her brain is constantly scanning for danger,
Yeah.
anticipating future hurt, even projecting it sometimes.
So she pushes people away.
Right. She's not just being cautious. She's primed to find flaws, to push away, to maybe even subconsciously sabotage things. It's a way to control the pain she thinks is coming anyway. She'd rather, things end on her terms than have the rug pulled out from under her again.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
It's a classic example of how unprocessed trauma can make us protect ourselves in ways that actually block real connection.
But Jacob, on the other hand, he's basically an open book, isn't he? Despite the anxiety. He manages his anxiety with this really meticulous self-care, routine exercise, sleep, diet, journaling.
Very structured.
Yeah. And he shares everything with Brianna. His plant room, which is like his sanctuary, his search history, even his journal.
Wow, the journal too.
Yep. And he tells her things like, I'd go hungry so you could eat. He's just this fortress of kindness, empathy, and like total transparency.
And that radical transparency, that consistent reassurance, that's exactly what someone like Brianna needs. With her history of secrets and betrayal, she desperately needs that to even begin to heal and trust again. Jacob's willingness to just show up, to be completely seen, to offer that deep, unwavering empathy, that's his most powerful act of love, really. He seems to understand that real connection needs an open book, not hidden chapters. He makes her feel safe. He's described as like a living lullaby, a softly spoken word.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and for someone with Brianna's background, that feeling of safety is the absolute foundation for maybe, just maybe, moving towards a more secure way of connecting.
Okay, so despite this undeniable chemistry, this growing affection, Brianna's past trauma just kicks in hard after they get physically intimate.
Right, the walls go back up.
Totally. She pulls away, convinced Jacob's still hung up on Amy, especially after she overhears this argument between them. And then the massive complication. Brianna finds out she's pregnant.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's this moment where all her deepest fears, abandonment, being second best, the consolation prize, just collide head-on with this undeniable shared future.
It's such a critical turning point. It really lays bare how deep-seated Brianna's trauma response is. That fear of abandonment, of being the consolation prize. It makes her push away the one person who's actually offering unconditional love.
Even with a baby on the way.
Exactly. It's a classic defense mechanism.
Yeah.
She's essentially self-sabotaging to try and control an outcome she sees as inevitable and incredibly painful. She's trying to control the story, even if it means giving up potential happiness, because anything feels safer than risking that kind of hurt again.
But right at this critical point, Jacob's mom, Joy, the famous therapist, steps in. She becomes this quiet observer, but also this incredibly insightful guide.
She knew all along it was real, right?
Yeah, she tells Jacob she knew their fake relationship was the real deal, and she gives him this really powerful advice. She tells him to just show up for Brianna, like he did for his dog, Lieutenant Dan.
Ah, the dog analogy.
Yeah. Move slowly, be consistent, give her reassurance, don't give up on her. It's just such practical, solid wisdom.
It absolutely is. And it really underlines that key theme.
Yeah.
True love isn't always loud or flashy. Often it's quiet, it's persistent, it's deeply understanding. Joy's advice isn't just comforting words. It's basically a clinical prescription for healing those attachment wounds Brianna has. Consistency, reassurance, unwavering presence. Those are the things you need to rebuild a foundation of trust that's been shattered. It also shows how helpful an outside, trusted perspective can be, helping us see our own blind spots and challenging those self-limiting stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, urging Jacob to be that secure base she needs. And then comes Jacob's most vulnerable move. This is huge. He reads Brianna parts of his personal journal.
Wow. Really lays himself bare.
Totally. It's their love story, but purely through his eyes, right from the first moment he saw her.
Oh, man.
He talks about the day he met her, how she was so beautiful, it caught me by surprise. He talks about the pain when she first rejected him, but also his absolute decision to pursue her. He says something like, any day I'm not with her is just wasted time. He just lays out all his fears, his anxieties, and this unwavering love.
That moment is just incredibly powerful. That's Jacob truly meeting Brianna exactly where she is. He's acknowledging her deepest fears, validating them even, but offering a love that exists despite them, that transcends conditions.
Yeah.
His journal isn't just him recounting events, it's tangible proof. Proof that his feelings were real and deep long before things got physical. It's a masterclass in truly seeing someone, affirming their worth and inviting them into a future, wounds and all. He tells her, even if you keep me away from you, My heart will still be where you are, so just let me be where you are.
Wow, just total acceptance.
Exactly. It's the ultimate antidote to her fear of abandonment. Radical acceptance and commitment.
And the story wraps up so beautifully, doesn't it? Benny gets the transplant, it's successful, Jacob and Brianna get married, and Jacob actually takes her last name, Ortiz, as this huge symbol of his commitment.
That's a significant choice.
It really is. And then their daughter is born, Ava Xfinity
There's
Ortiz.
Finity.
Laughs, yes. There's a whole funny story behind that involving Jacob's email password. Classic Abby Jimenez humor. But Brianna, who was so convinced she couldn't carry a baby to term, couldn't trust love ever again. She finds her happily ever after. She even tells Jacob with that dark humor of hers, I'd love you even if you were a talking head in a jar, and even if I was a gummy bear and you ate me.
It's such a perfect full circle journey. It illustrates so well that healing isn't about, like, erasing the past. It's about integrating it into a new, stronger story for yourself. Brianna learns to trust again. Not because Jacob is perfect or promises a life without pain. Nobody can promise that.
Right.
But because he's consistently there. He's understanding. He's willing to navigate her fears and her triggers with her. His whole never give up attitude is what slowly, painstakingly rebuilds that foundation of secure attachment for her. It's a really powerful narrative, and you can feel how it's influenced by the author's own experiences with chronic illness. You see that psychological impact of a life-altering chronic health condition, not just in Benny, but through Brianna too, being that helpless witness.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just shows us that vulnerability, when it's met with that kind of consistent, unconditional love,
Yeah.
it really can be transformative.
So, okay, wrapping up. What does this all mean for you listening?
Well, I think our deep dive into Yours Truly really shows us that love isn't always convenient,
Yeah.
right? It's definitely not always easy. It's often found in those quiet acts of resilience, and the frankly terrifying vulnerability of confronting our deepest fears, and in the unwavering, just consistent support of people who truly see us, even when we maybe can't see ourselves clearly. It's a powerful reminder that genuine connection can absolutely blossom from the most unlikely, even messy, beginnings, especially when it's fueled by empathy, persistent presence, and just radical honesty.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that honesty, even when it feels terrifying, can actually be the strongest bridge to connection. And sometimes those most profound acts of love are the ones done anonymously, the ones that just quietly echo through people's lives, changing futures without needing a single word of thanks. It kind of encourages us to look for those quiet heroes, maybe, the unsung acts of kindness, and the hidden depths in people we might initially dismiss or misunderstand.
Definitely.
Okay, so here's a final provocative thought for you to take away. Consider a moment in your own life, maybe where an unexpected connection or perhaps a quiet, maybe even anonymous act of kindness really shifted your perspective. What did that moment reveal about the hidden depths, either in yourself or in someone else? And how did it, maybe subtly, change your own story moving forward?